Many of you know this feeling. You've started a new workout plan, perhaps a new training style, maybe even a new sport entirely. And in the beginning, you're very motivated. You're incredibly hyped during the first week, no doubt about that. Maybe you're really getting into it in the second week or towards the beginning of the third, because while you're hyped in the first week, now you're kind of getting the hang of move sets. You kind of understand how certain things work. Maybe you're seeing your first results because obviously, with anything new you start, you're going to make a lot of progress at the beginning, or what feels like a lot of progress because you were terrible at it before. But, at some point, the motivation is going to start to subside. And maybe you're still motivated during the third week. Maybe you're still motivated during the fifth week of doing this workout. It really depends on who you are and what workout type you're doing specifically. But the motivation will subside. Maybe your workout regime has gotten boring, right? You're doing the same thing over and over again. First week you did it, it was really fun, it was really interesting because it was new, it was fresh, it was exciting. But now you've been doing the same 4 or 5 different workouts for weeks on end. Maybe your gains have slowed down or, essentially halted. Or maybe it's just that exhaustion has built up as well. Obviously, you were fresh and energetic when you started doing this workout, but now, after a couple of weeks, you're just exhausted physically and also mentally, and that is going to gnaw at your motivation. You stagnate. You feel like you have to force yourself to do these workouts, and you start to skip workouts more and more frequently. This is kind of related to what I talked about in the last video. If you want to go watch that, I'm going to link it up here or up here. I don't really know where the info symbol thing is. Your monkey brain will make up excuses for you, because your monkey brain is a high-level copium factory. So making up excuses for why you get to skip these workouts, you don't have the time today. You're doing all these other things today. It would just be too hard. Maybe even if you do have the time, it would be such a hassle to work out today. Making up excuses like that, that's easy, lightweight. Your monkey brain will do that without breaking a sweat. Maybe you just quit. You just stop doing the workout regime altogether. Just for a week, you might say. I'm just going to take a week off. I'll be back after. Suddenly, you haven't been in the gym for almost 2 months. And you're like, wait, what the hell happened? Maybe because you just forgot, but probably because your monkey brain was very adept at pushing that promise, that statement, that reality to the back of your mind. Whatever it may be, you haven't been in the gym for a month, 2 months, several months. And this is kind of where we are going to get into what this video is about. Before I get any further though, this video is a direct continuation, if you will, of my first video on working out. So if you haven't seen that and you haven't really started working out yet, or you're kind of just getting into working out, go watch that video first. Again, somewhere up here, you can click on that. I'm also going to put it in the description down below. Go watch that video first, do what I said in that video, then come back. Don't watch both videos now, which might sound strange because obviously I want viewers, right? I want people to watch these videos. That's why I upload them. I want this advice to get out there. But work out first after watching video number 1. That's the whole point of the video. Watch the video, go work out, then come back. This video is for beginners who, might be in the early stages of their workout journey, but they have gotten into working out at least somewhat regularly already. And maybe intermediates who feel stuck at that stage. They're kind of fit, kind of jacked, but they do want to take the next step. They want to reach a new level. Go beyond that poolside physique. That body that, maybe is good enough for beach parties, but isn't really elite level. Or not even elite level, what isn't really top notch, isn't the best they could do. Many of you will have heard that consistency is key. And in the last video, I talked about consistently working out at all, in some capacity. Just doing something to stay in the flow. Now, let's say you've gotten into the working out mindset. You've tried some different things. You've managed to stay active over the course of a year, and you are now not struggling with doing something. Maybe you have times throughout the year where you work out more or you work out less. That's fine. Maybe you have like a couple of weeks, a month or two, where you don't work out at all. But generally speaking, you manage to stay active, stay fit, stay in okay shape. Now you've found kind of a passion, or at least something you are particularly interested or invested in right now. And this can be anything. Bodybuilding style lifting, powerlifting, calisthenics, parkour, running, doesn't really matter. This video and what I'm going to talk about is very widely applicable. You mostly do this, whatever it may be, again. But as mentioned at the beginning of this video, you don't seem to get anywhere anymore. You don't know how to progress beyond that beginner/intermediate level. Like a solid beginner level, obviously. You've researched, you have some knowledge on how to do things. I don't really know how to specify because obviously we're talking about working out very generally. But the progress isn't there. How do you get to that next stage? Again, the answer is kind of simple. Consistency is still key. But, and maybe you're ashamed to ask this, out of fear of seeming lazy, how do you stay consistent? Because you've heard about discipline. You just gotta be disciplined, bro. You just gotta do it, bro. Discipline, bro. Just be disciplined. Just do the hard work. It's that easy. It's that simple, bro. But after that 4th week, you aren't seeing the kind of progress you would like to. Maybe none that is substantial. It gets tough. Let me ask you this, though. You aren't seeing the kind of progress you want to see. But what are you progressing towards? Doing work that is immediately rewarded with something is easy. Not easy in the sense that it's not still work. Easy in the sense that it's easy to stay motivated, and it requires little discipline/willpower because of this fact. Because you're being rewarded immediately with something, you don't need discipline. To your monkey brain, this feels like a fair trade. I do something, I get something. Doing work that doesn't feel rewarding at all, now that's much harder. Or maybe it's a little rewarding, but the cost-benefit analysis that your monkey brain might make isn't cutting it. When you're an entrepreneur and your business isn't doing so well, it's much easier to get yourself down and end up securing its failure. Or if you're playing a video game and you're not really invested, let's say you're a casual gamer, as some might call you. You're someone who, after work, just likes to turn on his console and fiddle with his joysticks for like 1 or 2 hours. Look at the screen, see a little character move around. It's easy to encounter a hard boss for the first time and just quit the game, because you're not invested. And so when the game is going great, it's fun. But once it gets hard, you just duck out because you're not enjoying yourself as easily anymore. Actually, little side rant, this is one of the reasons I think Souls games, and this is including Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, are very good for gamers. Because they actually force gamers to work hard. And that's a different mentality from other games that have, different difficulty settings and stuff like that. I'm not saying you should spend most of your time gaming. Not at all. And I'm also not saying every game needs to be hard. But if you're already spending hours of your time playing video games, these can help. Because the fact that they are hard and the fact that you have to invest hard work to beat some of these bosses, you have to learn move sets, or at least figure out a way to cheese the boss, which is also going to require you to die a ton. That is going to build some discipline. Like these games, real life, and especially working out, has no easy mode, except steroids / PEDs in general, but those might screw up your health, or probably will screw up your health if you're not working with a pro. And I'm not talking about an IFBB pro, I'm talking about a professional endocrinologist, someone who does blood work for a living. And again, I'm not talking about a vampire. I'm talking about an endocrinologist. Anyways, there's also a kind of pride in knowing you always stayed natural and didn't take that route, didn't take the easy way. Even if you take steroids, though, to achieve great results, you still have to work out quite a bit. So even then, this is going to be useful. That being said, back to the point of the video, as established, working hard when you're being rewarded is easy. It's when there's no immediate reward, when your monkey brain isn't satisfied, that it gets difficult. This is why to work hard consistently, you need goals. Working towards a goal gives you purpose, and that is more valuable than motivation in the long run. Way more valuable. Because it allows for long-term discipline. Suddenly, you're not working for that pump at the end of the workout, to look in the mirror and flex while monkey brain goes ooga booga. Not working for that big PR on every single exercise when you get into the second or third week of a workout plan and, you're just crushing everything. Those are bonuses. They'll still be there. But they aren't the point. And because they aren't, you won't struggle as much when those PRs start to get fewer and less impressive. When that physique doesn't wow you as much because changes from last week don't seem to be there at all. Little side note, I think this is actually one of the reasons A lot of people who work out can develop body dysmorphia. Obviously, as the media plays a big part, but another factor is that when you start working out, you see big changes and those feel great. You feel really jacked after a fairly short period of time. But then once you are there, the gains come in very, very slowly. And so you might work out for another year and not actually feel that jacked. You might feel kind of small or not as ripped as other people. When the fact of the matter is, you are significantly more jacked than you were a year ago when you felt really jacked. But because the progress has slowed down, you don't feel as jacked, which can be tough on the mind. Working out is about growing for many people, both figuratively and literally, but also inherently about maintenance. And as with any kind of maintenance, after a certain point, it feels like you're just doing the work to do the work. Maintenance is inherently not a very satisfying type of work for most people. Gains will not be noticeable unless tracked long-term as you approach the limit of your genetic potential, what your body is just capable of naturally. And this goes for any workout type in regards to physiology. Obviously, with something like fighting sports, for example, you have other metrics you can gain. But then again, and perhaps more importantly, if you're an athlete, you already have it easier because there are external goals already. And this doesn't have to be fighting. You could be a long-distance runner, but you do compete. If you're a long-distance runner and you enter competitions regularly, you're already training towards a goal, which is going to make things easier. But in regards to physically working out, if you aren't an athlete, you need to set goals for the sake of working out. Because you aren't working towards some outside goal, the workouts must become their own purpose. Again, a video game example. Offline video game, okay? You have no external goal. No real purpose. This doesn't do anything for you. There's nothing to accomplish beyond just playing the game. But you beat it because you make that a goal. You make that a goal yourself. You know you will enjoy playing the game. You know maybe you will feel good after. You will feel satisfied after finishing it. And so even if it's no use, you have accomplished a challenge when you finish the game. And that's satisfying and that's fun. And then obviously playing the game itself, if it's a good game, was also fun. But you know what I'm saying. You have kind of made this an artificial goal. It didn't do anything for you in the real world. To make workouts a purpose of their own, you need to set these arbitrary goals. This will create a challenge to be beaten, just like it does in the case of the video game, which will give you a drive beyond immediate satisfaction of, short-term gains, short-term gains rather, stuff like that. You can even add a reward connected to your goal. Maybe that'll make you more motivated. Ideally, you have a bigger goal that is more long-term, and then smaller ones along the way. So you're staying in the flow. You reach a smaller goal maybe each week or every 2 weeks, every couple of weeks. And then you have a long-term goal that's 6 months from now or maybe 3 months from now. But you're kind of reaching these smaller waypoints already feels satisfying, kind of like completing levels in a video game. And once you reach the big goal, you get like the ultimate satisfaction. But you're kind of staying in the flow, and you're always regaining just a little bit of motivation every time you reach one of those smaller goals. All right, I'm back. I just met up with my brother and did some parkour, some kicks, a little bit of boxing, just generally some agility and endurance style working out. So this is about 2 or 3 hours later, which is why the light is a little different, but I decided to just quickly finish this video for today. Here's what you do. After you're done watching this video, go and set a goal for your workouts. I'm talking a goal for the next couple of months. 3 months, 4 months, maybe half a year. This can be a certain number on your 1 rep max with a specific exercise. Ideally, maybe multiple exercises where you want to hit a specific record. A certain weight, maybe if you're bulking right now on a bodybuilding style workout plan. Maybe a certain time on a specific running distance, right? Or a really hard move if you're someone who does calisthenics or parkour, anything. Depends on the style of workout you do, right? You might actually reach that goal much sooner than you think if you really put your mind to it, just because you've made it a goal. So that move you're trying to do, that calisthenics move, might seem impossible, but if you actually specifically work towards that, you may be surprised how quickly you get there. Something I've noticed over the years is how your state of mind while doing a workout, even while doing a specific set, vastly impacts performance. I've done some insane workouts and hit PRs on one of the lowest calorie diets I have ever done. And to be quite honest, it almost felt like I was on PEDs back then. Like if I think back to that time, I was eating almost nothing for, what I usually eat, like compared to what I'm eating right now, for instance. And it's all because of the drive I had to achieve my goals. It was crazy, man. As you get close to reaching your goal, already think about what your next goal could be. So roughly figure out a new goal, or have a few options in mind. Doesn't have to be one specific goal, but have some ideas of what your next big goal could be before you finish, before you reach the goal you're going to set after finishing this video. Once you've achieved your first long-term goal, enjoy the satisfaction, right? The feeling of success, the internal glory, if you will, maybe the external glory if you've shared this goal with someone. Enjoy that. Bask in that. But only for a day, a few days, maybe a week. This really depends on how hard you've gone, how long-term this goal was, and the type of workout you do, obviously. Then set your new goal, or pick one of the options you thought of. If you have multiple things in mind, choose one of those as your new goal and keep going. And that's how you progress through goal setting. You will be able to develop the discipline to stay on track even when you lose motivation to work out. Not just because you're doing it, bro, because you're working towards something. So what you're doing feels meaningful, and you're going to be able to do it. Whereas if you have no goal, no real goal, that is, obviously you want to get stronger, you want to get more jacked, whatever it may be. But if you have no actual end point that you are trying to reach, what are you working for? It's going to be very hard to stay on track if you don't have that purpose, that clear thing in mind. Dude, my lips are so dry, by the way. I think I mentioned this in one of the previous videos. I'm currently on a special diet, what I mean by that is I'm not on the diet that I'm usually on year round, essentially. And I'm kind of still figuring out my macros and micros because it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've done this specific diet. And I don't know what it is, man. Maybe I have to increase my water intake, but my lips are dry as hell, bro. Anyways, I really like doing these 3 different types of videos for my first 3 videos. So the first one was workout related, like this one. Second one was nutrition. And then the third one was personal philosophy, if you will. And now with this one, I'm circling back. Obviously, this video was sort of a follow-up to the first workout video I made, which, is something I really like. So probably the next video will be about nutrition, maybe another aspect of fitness-related health, like sleep. A funny story, actually, I recorded about 30 minutes of this video and then had to scrap the entire recording because I was so sleep deprived that I was just rambling on, and essentially after a couple of sentences I completely lost track either of what I was talking about or where my notes were headed, and I just had to scrap the entire video and go to sleep for a couple of hours. So I recorded this video significantly later in the day than I actually planned to. But that's just a little side rant. And then after that, I think I'll do another one on personal philosophy, character, that type of thing. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like if you learned something. If you know the drill, enjoyed hearing me ramble on about goals and progression. If this video was helpful to you, maybe personally, if you have any questions regarding the things I talked about in this video, maybe some follow-up questions, or you have suggestions for new video topics, go ahead and leave a comment. Also, if you just want to not miss any of the videos I make in the future, I'm kind of stumbling over my words here again, so let's just finish this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you don't want to miss anything, if you want to follow me on this journey. And be sure to activate the notification bell, I guess, if you're going to subscribe. Why not? I suppose. Again, not really sure if it does anything right now or not, or what the current YouTube meta is. Just do as you see fit. And with all that being said, I guess I'll hopefully see you around. But more importantly, I hope you actually get to working out and you do set those goals and reach them. Don't forget, after you finish this video, you're going to go and set a specific goal with a specific time frame for your workouts. All right, hit it, bro.